Hello and welcome to FGC Philosophy. I'm excited to talk about this episode, but real quick, a little bit about me. Hi, Philosopher here, aka Tavy Napier, Assistant Director for Western Michigan University's esports program and their arena. I'm a lifelong gamer, love fighting games, love competitive gaming in general, and I'm just very privileged to be able to have different perspectives on competitive gaming and or esports. And today I actually have a guest to join me about this important topic. We're going to be talking about Project L. If you don't know what that is, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I'm bringing on Megamaxstar. He is a buddy of mine that I've been working with for a long time. He's also helped a lot with the KZoo FGC, has his own tournaments going on now as well. Also a commentator, competitor. So similar to me in a lot of ways. We're going to be talking about something that we've talked about in the past. You can look at some of our previous episodes and things that we predicted were going to happen. That did happen. But first, Max, I have one topic that we can talk about a little bit beforehand. I think it's important and kind of relevant. And for a little bit of context, let me back up a little bit. On Monday, we had our tournament, and for Street Fighter 6, our online tournament, Mighty Modem Mondays, we do it every Monday online. As long as you're in the North America region, you can enter for free. There's a prize pool that's crowdfunded. And what had happened was, what's that?
Shout out MMM.
Yeah, MMM. Oh, yeah, that's right. I also helped start off Mighty Modem Mondays a long time ago at the start of the pandemic.
Shout out.
But yeah, so we had a player, and I'm not going to get into specific names. I'm just going to use as a scenario because I think we've all seen this and or have been there ourselves. But, Goku Cooper runs the stream, and I was also moderating his stream. I was commentating and everything. And there was a player that didn't perform as well as they would have liked. And it was this kind of effect where the player was saying, I'm quitting Street Fighter 6. I can't, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. I'm never going to beat these players. I've been training really hard. I've been playing for so many years and I'm still not winning tournaments, and just like kind of this snowball effect. And I don't think it's someone that you know. It sounds very similar to someone that we might know, but it isn't. But yeah, I had this like short talk because I kind of, we had a delay in the next match anyway. So I felt like it was a good time to really discuss this. So after the match we were watching was over, I went back to that topic, and my advice, my short bit of advice at that time was, one, I don't want to dismiss how you're feeling right now. So like take this with, a grain of salt, because right now you're in not a good headspace. But I think that part of the issue is the goal that you have in mind, and like your expectations of performance, right? It's like, there was a couple different things I said. One was like your goals and your expectations. The other thing is that you clearly love this thing. So why are you choosing to punish yourself and taking away something that you love because you're not hitting this arbitrary goal that you set for yourself, right? But before I get into too many more thoughts, I just want to know your perspective, like when you've seen this, if you've experienced it, and like how you currently handle it versus maybe when you're in the past or when you talk to somebody else, because you're also a coach. He's also a coach for different games as well.
Yes, I currently coach Smash Bros. For a university in Maryland, and it's super nice, super great. I coached a couple of colleges in Michigan before. But when you said that, it kind of triggered me because I thought about when I was playing and running Mighty Modem Mondays for Dragon Ball, of a particular player who said pretty much the exact same thing. And it pretty much went down to him saying, look, I practice all the combos. Like I practiced in the training room, and I'm still losing. Like what's going on? Like it's all I'm doing. And that's every time that they would get snuffed in bracket, that was every time. And they would just get frustrated and upset in bracket. And I always had a hard time like talking to him and telling him like how to improve, because there's a lot more to the game than just what you are looking at and like that tiny little perspective, right? Because in his mind, my player's mind that I'm talking about, he was so focused that he needed to get his combos down so much that if he got his combos down, that's it. Like that's you figured it out. It's like, no, there's like a million other things you got to think about when you're playing Dragon Ball, right? Like there's blocking, there's like pressure, there's using your assists correctly, neutral in general, period. Like that is such a difficult concept to grasp when you don't really understand the game because you're newer or you just don't quite understand it or get it. So from that player's perspective, I don't know how long they've been playing Street Fighter or fighting games in general. long time. Okay. So with that perspective in mind, it's definitely a plateau feeling. And I think this is where like coaching definitely comes in play, where, you know, having somebody else point out the things that you like aren't making that mental check or like visibly seeing, even though like I've seen so many times of other people saying, I go back to my replays, I watch my replays, and all I see is that I lose. And it's like, nah, man, there's more to this. Like, did you turn on the frame data? Did you like look? Did you see that, hey, this move that I got hit by is actually like -8. I could punish that no problem. Right. But I think that's definitely a plateau issue where they're just not happy with their current growth. And instead of just pushing forward or just practicing more, you just quit. Because it's like, you know, I guess they're thinking in their head, like, what is all this time and effort put into? There's people that are miles better than me and I can't do shit. And it's like, no, that's not the point. You don't have to be better than everybody else. That's not necessarily the like truth. You can just be that person that showcases your cool ass character and do cool ass moves. Like whatever you want, you know. And sure, like it sucks to lose in bracket. Everyone, you know, hates to lose. I hate to lose, of course. Like like I almost
exactly what I said.
I almost got O2'd at my own weekly. I think I actually did get O2'd at my own weekly, and I was like devastated. And I was like, "Fuck, bro! Like, what am I doing? I gotta practice."
Well, in that very same tournament, me and Goku Cooper both got O2'd. And I was like, bro, I got O2'd in this tournament, all right? I've been hustling as much as I can within reason, and I got bodied in this tournament. So it's like, you know, again, not to dismiss anyone else's feelings because everyone processes emotions differently. It's like there's so many different facets to this kind of thing because I think what you're talking about is very practical and like applicable. You can do something with that. Like you can watch your VODs, review, talk to somebody else. But I mean, one, you have to think about other players as well. Like even not talking about the practical stuff, like the psychology of your opponent. They could be random, they could be logical. Like you don't know how much training, just because they've been playing the game with less time than you, doesn't mean that like everyone learns at the same speed and so on and so forth. But also just the fact that like you're setting this goal for yourself and then like it's a goal that isn't something that is solely on yourself. It's not like an exterior goal, right? There's other factors other than yourself. Like if you say, I want to be able to do 10 push-ups, there's not many external factors that should affect that unless you have like a really crazy life that you don't have any space or time like at all to do 10 push-ups and like practice that. But when you're talking about winning in a tournament, there's several other people that are in that tournament and there's different characters and there's a lot of knowledge that you may or may not have that they do have. So there's a lot of external factors that affect that goal. And then like on top of that, not hitting that goal and choosing to punish yourself, right? Because in my eyes, I feel like this is a punishment on oneself. It's like I'm taking away the thing that I love because I don't deserve to have it. That's what I hear when I see that.
Yeah,
right.
That's definitely what I'm hearing too, for sure. I mean, it definitely is a punishment because who are you like saying like I got the better of you in that situation? It's like myself. I'm picking myself over myself for no reason.
Yeah. So I kind of want to just talk on that a little bit because like it's something I'm processing now and maybe potentially if there's something useful here, we can share that out because I think it's something that has to be revisited again and again, especially with new games or when a game gets older and so forth. That like on one side, yeah, you know, I encourage people to work hard and train and get better at the game. But at the same time, you have to temper your expectations and not set these goals and emotional responses to these goals that aren't always realistic or really productive to have. You can control like learning how to do a better like mix up or learning Oki or learning your combo execution. These are things that'll help you get towards winning a tournament. But winning a tournament is such it's such a ambiguous goal. I want to win this tournament. Okay, are you watching all the people in the tournament? Are you watching every single opponent and like how often they're playing their matches? Are you understanding the matchup like as much as possible? There's so much to being able to attain that goal. So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on that.
Not only on top of that, but I think you should ask the players who won how many times they've had to lose in bracket historically. Like not just this game, but like through their whole fighting game career before they're even like close to top 3, right? These guys, like some people, sure, you know, they rise right through 2-0s, boom, 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 boom. But then they're most of the normal people who eventually become better, O2s, O2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 2-2, 2-2, and then 3-2, 3-2, you know, lose, lose, lose. Some weeks you have it worse than others. But and then finally you get that 1 week. That 1 week you beat your bracket demon, you push through, and that's your dub. You know, the world is your oyster at that point. But yeah, he's putting himself at a point where he can't like improve anymore if he's just gonna quit and he just wants to give up and not attempt other ideas or other practices. Because look, especially with this game in its infancy, there is a lot that a new player can like learn from and change for their play style, and it's very obvious. The thing about Street Fighter 6 is it's really obvious who's better and who's not. You can just visually tell, and you're like, okay, that person isn't confirming their lights. They're not using drive rush correctly to like in neutral or for pressure. They're not finishing their combos. They're like fucking up their Oki all the time. Like it's just those small things, but then also everything else in between. Like there's so much that you can tell from just like one match, one battle. And you can say like, yeah, this is what you absolutely did wrong, and this is why.
Yeah, I feel that. And I mean, everyone's different, so I feel like that's very obvious. There's so many different aspects of the game that you can kind of hone in on one specific thing, which is what I recommend. Like, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And this is a game where mental stack is abundant, no matter what character you're playing. 5, there were certain characters that are very straightforward and you didn't have a lot of mental stack. In this game, the universal mechanics in general cause that mental stack on top of the character abilities and such. So I think that, you know, I played a character in 5 that mental stack was always a thing that I had to do to other people and also be aware of because I didn't have the same defensive tools as other characters. So I feel like even though I'm learning a little bit slower than other players, I'm not as like upset or salty at the fact that there is a lot of mental stack because I just deal with it and I learn. I do one thing at a time. Like, okay, right now I'm just working on reacting to DIs. Right now I'm just working on anti-airs. Right now I'm just working on my combos. And if I lose because I'm trying to work on my combos and I miss an anti-air, it's like, well, did I get my combo right? Did I do these things? So yeah, it's a continuing conversation that I want to keep on, you know, revisiting. But I did think that, you know, especially having you on here and your experience with coaching and competing and commentary, I thought you'd have a good perspective on it too.
The thing that like I think about when we talk about this is something Sajam said that I still think about a lot because it makes sense to kind of break these bounds. And for a coach, it's great. Pick something that you want to do when you load up in your game, like your versus match. And that is your goal. That is your not winning, not losing, hitting, you know, this match, I want to hit like every single anti-air. This match, I want to like land all of my supers. This match, I want to do that one combo that I just practiced for 15 minutes. And that's it. Don't focus about winning. Don't focus about losing. Focus about that one thing that you want to achieve. And guess what? Turns out winning and losing doesn't matter. Then you start thinking, damn, I just did that. I pulled that off finally in a real match. And now the gears are turning, and now you have that muscle memory. It's just small things like that that can really change how you think, that can make it better for you. And you can do it subconsciously. Like it's that easy from doing something that simple as pick something you want to do and do it. And then eventually your mental starts to change. And hopefully you're not focused on, damn, bro, I just lost rank points, or I just demoted. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you demote, man. Like that dude that beat you, he smoked you. And you want to know why? Because you're suck. You got to improve.
Yeah. And for people who are trying to get the easy out of saying, oh, well, Save Jam's not good at the game. One, you're wrong. He is good at games.
He is good at the game.
But two, this is something that top level coaches and performers and competitors and executives and such have all said as well. Like this is not just something that Sajam is saying. This is like the experts in psychology say this sort of thing. You can't efficiently learn multiple things at the same time. So even if you're saying, discrediting Sajam for whatever reason, which he's very experienced, it's still very reputable outside of just esports, just in general, learning something, you do it one thing at a time. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So moving on to the main topic.
Man, so in case you didn't hear, one, Project L is a fighting game that's being developed by Riot, the people who created League of Legends. Nice hat, by the way. Two, they hired Tony and Tom Cannon, who are not only the co-founders of EVO Evolution, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, they're also the creators of GGPO, which is one of the best, if not the best, netcode service for game developers.
Yes.
So yeah, if you want to make a game, that's the expectation right there. That's like the cream of the crop in terms of net play connection. Which fighting games, you got to have a good connection to play the game online. It's just the way it is. And historically, AAA studios have not been on top of that. The last few games like Strive and Street Fighter 6 have finally started to work on that. Older games are starting to get some better netcode as well, like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Hopefully that comes out soon. I think maybe Samurai Showdown as well.
Samurai Showdown
it's becoming an expectation. And I'm excited. But nonetheless, they just dropped some more information today.
A heap load.
Or yesterday.
A massive load of information. It's kind of crazy because this is really what we've been like waiting for. This is specifically like what we have been waiting for. And this is a crazy amount of information, as well as like so much that has shown that we can now digest as like people who are excited for this product. Before, we had the same 30-second clip from this random like post that they did like 6 years ago or whatever. It feels like, but now we actually have like footage of the actual game being played. And let me tell you, it's stunning, beautiful, and I'm so excited to play it. And I'm so jealous that I won't be able to go to EVO to play this game, that they are playtesting it at EVO. People are going to love this game. Also, I think they're going to do an announcement at EVO. I'm pretty sure. It's from how it sounds. So
I think it'll be a date.
I don't know.
Release date.
I don't know, but it definitely.
I think a character unveil.
I think it's going to be characters for sure.
Yeah.
Open beta maybe, but people. So from the videos I've been watching from all the other content creators, they've been saying that the game's definitely not done yet. So. That makes me believe that there's still a lot more structure on the back end that still needs to get fixed. But they have the battle game, they have the fighting, they got the character select, and that's good for me so far, man. I
secondary animations.
So, but yeah, I'm super excited for this.
I do think, to finish up the conversation about EVO, I think it'll be multiple characters that they announce for the game.
I agree.
Probably Alawi for sure.
Yeah, because they said they were working on Alawi. Well, I think they're going to announce new characters that we don't know yet. Even though so right now there are 4 characters, sorry.
4.
That we've only been able to see in this current mode, and that's Darius, Echo, Ari, and
I didn't see Jinx though.
No, Jinx isn't. Jinx.
I only saw 3 characters so far.
I think that's it, and that must be it. So obviously, we know that Jinx, Katarina, and Alawi are all in this game because they were in previous builds that they showed. So they are somewhere in the codes, whatever. I think they're going to show a character that's not in those. They'll probably show one of them. They'll probably show Jinx, is my guess.
Yeah, I think Jinx and Alawi are 2 that I think they do a showcase for, because Alawi, they only teased a little bit. They showed actual Jinx gameplay. It just looked very rough at the time.
Yeah, but that was way back. So that was like 2020. So they got, or 2019, I guess. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. There's a couple of good topics to discuss on this. I want to watch the dev diary before we hit some of those points. I feel like there was one more point that I was going to hit, but I can't remember what it was now. So I'll circle back to it later on. But I do have this pulled up.
Hey everyone, it's our favorite time of year. So we thought we'd check in and let y'all know what's happening with Project L. From the start of this project, we felt that if we were going to make a fighting game, we needed to bring something new to the genre. We're investing in some big ideas that we hope will unlock new kinds of fun for fighting game fans. I'm happy to introduce one of those big bets for you today, which some of you have already suspected. Project L isn't just a tag-based fighting game. It's a 2v2 team-based fighting game.
So this is the one thing I wanted to show right before we go too crazy. But obviously, the game's 2v2, which is super exciting. But on this screen specifically, they show the character select a little bit, and it is super quick. But I do really like how it looks, and it looks really good and very UI smart. And I mean this because there's a lot of League isn't known for great UI. All right, we've all played League of Legends. All right, we've all been on the client. Client's not great. All right, but obviously the Cannon brothers know what they're doing because this UI looks beautiful and it's very interactive and it makes sense even from a spectator's standpoint. Immediately, you can even see whether or not that person is using a fight stick, which that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. And of course, this also lets you know which side you're on, and if you're point or secondary, you pick that right there. And that's really nice. I think that's super duper helpful.
Team-based fighting game. This means that teams of 2 players can face off together in the same match with each player piloting a single champion. So we're building a game where you can play with your friends as well as against them. Let me toss it over to Sean to explain how it works.
We called it!
Yeah, I got to talk about that real quick, too. So in case you missed the our past episodes, this is years ago, I think. I think this is years ago.
It is years ago.
I feel like a lot of people didn't believe what we were saying. And the whole thing was that, in case you didn't catch that through the audio version or whatever, the game is 2 players versus 2 players. There's 4 total characters, kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom, 1 or whatever, or Infinite, right? Mm-hmm. Or Battle for the Grid, something like that, where it's a tag fighter. You can switch characters in and out. So each player would control 1 character, and in theory, for a maximum 4 players, you can control 1 character, your teammate controls the other one. Yep. And same thing on the other side. There is a mixture of that they'll talk about, I'm sure. But the biggest thing is that
you can do 1v2,
this is one of the this is going to be one of the first games in a long time, for long fighting games since probably DOA that has had a tag mechanic. And DOA was nowhere near as popular as this is going to be. So I think this is huge, and I think this is one of the things that fighting games have lacked for a long time, because it's just team-based games do better. I don't think it's just because it's a fighting game that it's not popular. I think it's because that, you have 2 players on a screen fighting versus 10 players on a screen going at it, right? There's more camaraderie, there's more drama, there's more entertainment. There's a lot more once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that are going to happen. I mean, you still have a lot of Evo moments and things like that, of course. But I do think in terms of mainstream esports spectators events, this is going to be one of those things that helps fighting games kind of break through. I think Street Fighter 6 is helping with that too.
Yes,
but that's an aside. But I think the anticipation alone of this game is going to make other games more popular, other fighting games. Battle for the Grid, I'm calling it now, is going to get more popular, especially with Max bringing it up as well.
Yeah.
People getting ready for the game. They're going to start streaming that game. People are going to be like, wait, there's a Power Rangers fighting game? You're going to have a whole new influx of people with simple inputs. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be
very
huge.
Similar.
I think that one alone is huge.
Crazy enough.
Yes, very similar inputs. No crazy pretzel motions. So if you're newer to fighting games, it's not an easy game. It's not an easy game, but there's no crazy inputs to kind of gatekeep you from learning the game.
And that hurts. Maybe I just handshake and you jump up after.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
Hey, it's clockwork.
Hit the spin. Right, it's going to be cheap. Are you ready? Oh, you like that? That's kind of clean. Yeah. You do love to see it. Y'all have no idea how long I've been waiting to talk about this. This is Clock, one of our game designers.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Let's get into it.
Real quick. Okay, so I just got to bring this up real fast. That guy, Clockwork, is a very well-known Marvel player, top Marvel player. I think he's won several tournaments, and so he was a really, really cool player. So the fact that he's one of the developers. Again, the quality of this game is going to be so damn good. Man, I can't stress that enough. And I feel more confident every time we see something new from this company.
A lot of people, Rufelmonger, Say Jam, I've heard them repeat the same thing, that this is a fighting game made by fighting gamers. And that is 100% true. It is hitting every single point that like fighting gamers want in a fighting game so far. And that's what makes this game interesting. And also what makes the like actual direction behind this game very interesting too.
Duo play works a bit like tag team wrestling. One player controls the champ on stage, and the other waits off screen for their teammate to find the right moment to tag them in. In our last update, we showcased some of our tag mechanics, all of which were designed from the ground up to encourage teamwork. Sharing in victories, defeats, performing combos together, or saving your partner in a clutch moment are just some of the new ways you can experience the game as a duo.
That's the universal
Project
burst
L will
mechanic.
support 1v1, 2v2.
So yeah, if you watch the YouTube video, it is in like 4K. So I recommend doing that if you can.
Because this game looks pretty. Like the renders that they've shown of the current cast, they look really good. Like really, really good. The intros and outros is just phenomenal. The like level of quality they've put in.
And even 2v1 matchups. So don't worry, solo players. You can still play as a solo tag team fighter and control both champs.
Like, look at that render. It's so pretty.
Fight your own battles or bring a friend. The choice
look at
is
Echo,
yours.
bro.
Time to throw down. Yeah.
He looks so good.
Whatever your setup, our systems are designed to feel fluid and rewarding for players on stage and off screen. And that starts before you even get into a match. Before the game starts, each team can choose to customize how their champs play together with something we're calling the Fuse system.
Okay, so this is the biggest reason why also people are saying this is a fighting game made for fighting gamers. Natavian, I don't know if you've seen this part.
Okay. I heard Max talk about it. I haven't actually seen it. I was listening to it while doing some work, so I didn't see any of it.
This shit's crazy. Like, honestly, this is cool. This is what makes the game replayable. So these are runes, fuses, whatever you want to call them. You know, they call them fuses, but these are the League of Legends runes, you know. This is how you pick how you're going to play your match or play your, you know, team. And I think there's 3 or 4, and we can see 2 on the screen right here. 2x assist and double down. That's just 2 of them. 2x assist allows you to call your assist and they'll do their action. And then you can press the assist button again and they'll do another action, which is pretty nuts. Double down is being able to DHC, delayed hyper combo, super into another super, which is pretty cool. I'll probably end up using that one. I love DHCing. That's just one of my favorite things in fighting games.
The DBZ player over here. I agree, though.
The other one, I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty much a plain just boost when you're low on health. It is just a strict steroid stat buff when you hit a certain, like, I think like 40% health. And then the last one is you can pick an assist, or you call an assist, and then they've shown it here. You can do handshake tags. So that means you swap to the other person. And then you can swap back again in the same motion. So you can like sandwich people. You can swap to your other ally. They're hitting them. And then you can swap back to the person who initially started the swap and then keep going, which is some cross tag shit. And the fact that you can do that with 2 people, imagine the amount of like nut shit that people are doing when it's just like, because this is, you don't just like, you know, set this up. You have to do it on the fly. And that's what makes this shit cool, is because when you are able to do something like that, where you swap, hit somebody or start a block stun and then swap back, and you both are able to coordinate as a team to be able to open up your opponent. Like that's some
big brain, galaxy
shit.
brain
And
stuff, man.
by the way, they're saying that this game is degenerate, and they don't mean that by a bad thing. It's by you can high, low, up, down, left, right. grab
Left and
everyone.
right?
Left and right. You can absolutely demolish your opponent in the block strings. And they've talked about how defense is a little weak, but still has some decent options. Like there's push block, which is great. But they're saying push block costs 1 bar, which is too much. A lot of people are saying. So
yeah, I mean that's why they're testing it out.
this shit's sick. Like, I'm sorry to pause again, but and again, this doesn't mean this is all they're gonna get. There could be more. There can be so many other ways that you can make this interesting and playable with other characters, other teams. Like, this is sick. This is so sick.
Yeah. And the last point that I'll make too is that I can't wait for the emotional pop-offs of having a team win a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I've never watched a lot of Double Smash, so I'm sure it's very similar to that. But like seeing a fighting game, because fighting game pop-offs are pretty good. Like the celebration, not like playing well, but
legendary.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
And
you see Double Lift and Punk over here.
Match that with
popping
League
off.
players who just got into fighting games because they love League of Legends, who also do
Double Lift.
the similar crazy pop-offs on stage. It's
absolutely.
Once we see a ex-pro League player playing with an ex-pro FGC player, we done seen it all. We done seen it all.
Yeah.
With fuses, you can choose between powerful synergies that change up your duo's playstyle and really allow player expression to shine. I want to talk about one fuse called 2x Assist. This allows your team to throw out 2 assists back-to-back instead of just 1. With each champion having 2 assists and some of them being chargeable, there is a lot to discover. But you can always
and they talked about you can hold down
assists to find out
assists
what feels right.
and make
Really
your assists will
excited for
come
all the
up.
possibilities
Like
here.
they will run towards the enemy,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
I highly recommend watching this video. I'll put a link in the description, the show notes for the audio listeners, because it is hard to explain all of it. But and then watching it, you'll probably have to watch it a couple times because again, it's like a Marvel game. It's going to get crazy.
Can't wait to see what you come up with. Team play is at the heart of Project L's design and the foundation of the game overall. We know it's a difficult design challenge to get right, but we spent a lot of time figuring out how to make duo play something truly unique and special for you all to enjoy and
Look
master.
how good this game is, man.
I'm sure you've got
like
loads
this
of
is so
questions,
pretty.
So keep them close, because I have one more thing to tell you all. I'm thrilled to say that Project L will have a playable demo at EVO, where you can come try out the game on the show floor. We'll have 4 champions available, no sign-up required.
4
Whether you're
champions
attending or not,
available.
Look out for another update with more reveals soon.
There's only 3 that's been shown, I think.
Go check out this full 2v2 match between 4 of our devs. Link in the description below.
I do recommend watching it because it's cool.
Thank
It's
you
a
all
good
for
vibe.
watching, and see you in Las Vegas.
Pretty sick. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic news. I was literally screaming in my living room once I watched this stuff and saw the 2v2 was real. Once I saw it and I was like, this is real. This is incredibly real. I was just screaming. I was like, I can't believe it. We guessed it. We knew.
I got to go find the old clips. We got
them on the podcast, man. Like, they're there.
Oh, man.
They exist.
I'll just look up Project L because we talked specifically about Project L like 2 or 3 times.
I'm pretty sure from the first podcast we talked about possible 2v2. And if not, no. Actually,
the second one for sure.
The second one 100% because we knew what was going to be shown. Like, or what
they showed it was a 2v2,
Yeah.
and I mean they showed the net code.
That's exactly it. And we knew immediately then. It's like, this is possible. They could do this.
Yeah,
and people are like, no, it's impossible. They don't want people to have fun. Fun's for losers.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, no, it's I don't think it's gonna be an easy game by any means.
No.
Which is not a bad thing. I think the game is gonna have a lot of longevity in part because of that.
So
I'm go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to send you a exact timestamp, and I just want you to pull this up. This is a timestamp from, or a stock clip from Ruvelmonger's video, and this is his control schemes. I kind of wanted to show this off for stream because I find this particular picture very interesting. Just because this gives us an idea of what we need to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was his controls for when he was playtesting. So we got the Magic series, we got light, medium, heavy, right? And then we have special 1, special 2 on the bottom, right? So confirmed, there is no motions. It is special buttons. So you can press a direction and a special, and that will be that. But there's no quarter circles, nothing, no pretzel motions, none of that. Dash macro at the top right, so that's some Guilty Gear Strive shit. Tag on the bottom right, parry macro on the bottom right. So they're utilizing, first of all, the whole thing. Like when I play Dragon Ball, I have like 2 buttons that I don't use on my fight stick, like, to be honest, because I don't need it. I really don't. Like, I have all of the shortcuts I can do myself, and it's not hard, right? And even then, other games, right? Like, yeah, Street Fighter, you have to use pretty much all of it. Maybe you're saving not one because it's that bottom right one. Maybe you don't want to use that one. Maybe you do. I don't.
I have it as parry, but I never use it.
I've been meaning to set it as parry, but again, it's a really simple. It's a really simple one.
Pinky on DI and the 2 fingers on parry.
So this is interesting because, of course, they've also said that launchers are down heavies. So, like, that is a just natural.
Marvelous.
Yes, absolutely. 100% Marvel versus Capcom 2, Capcom Infinite in some ways. So, like, this, and I think this is the correct way forward because it makes, like, you and I can both look at this, and then when we watch the footage, we can make sense of the combo structures. Right?
Yeah.
We and every single attack is pretty much jump cancelable. So this gives you an idea of like, okay, this is what we're looking for in buttons, obviously, and you can kind of start mapping out how people are playing this game now because you can watch it and then you're like, I don't understand how they're doing this. Well, now that you have an idea of what it looks like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's really really simple, and I think that's a good thing. People, I know for a fact, people are going to say that this is a bad idea and that you shouldn't have non-motion controls, yada yada yada. Save it, save it. Get hit. Block this mix-up. Then talk to me.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't really need the inputs. Like, I'm not saying they should go away for all fighting games, but man, that argument is so old. And like when Street Fighter 6 was coming out, like during the beginning of the release, the term that was floating around for a little bit was woke controls. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I hope I come across someone that says that in person, like legitimately, like please talk to me. Yeah, non-ironically. I haven't ever seen a person actually say that like in person. Maybe that's just because it's too cringy to say it out loud, but shut up.
And like we now, with the history of SF6 up to this point, it's been like a month now since the game's come out. It's been a while.
A month and a half, something like that.
Yeah. So we know now modern controls aren't that crazy, bro. Like, and when you're playing against a modern player too, you know how to play against them. You know that they have instant supers, instant specials. And yeah, that might seem jank, but the fact that you know that makes them predictable. And, that also will set aside good modern players from bad modern players who just, use very easy, simple tactics and abuse that system. If you are smart enough and you understand the game system, and also the fact that, like, I've had games in ranked where I was like getting my ass beat, and I was like, "Damn, bro, this guy's anti-airing me like crazy." And then I look, and I'm like, "He's modern, okay." And then and then immediately I get it, and I walk up, I block. What does he do? Sure you. Oh, what is that? What happened?
Yeah, I played a Cammy just like that. I'm like, how is she doing the anti-air DP so fast, and how is she hitting those cannons, like the air dive kicks and everything? Like, what is okay? I didn't like think about it until the rematch, and I was like, oh,
they're modern
controls. Okay. And I don't look
sense.
down on modern controls or anything, but like you do have to make that slight adjustment where it's like, okay, I can't like if they know how to play the game and they're using modern, like anti-airing is like you can't jump in on them.
No,
you just can't.
You just can't. And if
like
you
DJ
do,
or Candy or something,
you gotta be smart about it, like really smart about it too.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean like your play style or your like game plan has changed at all. In fact, it makes it even simpler in some ways because you, as a player, especially if you're playing Classic, know the limitations that Modern has, right? And now you know, and now you know how to play against it. Sure, you're going to get your ass beat a couple times. Like I've gotten my ass beat by a couple Moderns. It happens, you know? But sometimes Modern players get that extra layer of understanding that you don't quite get because, you know, that learning curve wasn't as difficult for them, but it's still them interested in the game and playing it. And for you as a competitor, it gives you an even more unique understanding of a different type of player that exists. And that's, you know, people are going to complain about that, but like, look, you want more people in your fighting games. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Like right, my finger won't point down right here. Like that's how you do it. Like you make it simple, you make it easy and like digestible to understand, and people can pick it up at a party, at their, you know, friend's house, whatever.
Do cool stuff.
Right. And like this is what you need, because if you put motion controls in a game that primarily isn't even made for people who play this type of genre, you know, like these people play League of Legends, and you know what League of Legends players do?
I can't bring my mouse up.
I don't know if you can hear this, but just I'm pressing R. I'm pressing R. Did my move happen yet? Like that's what League of Legends players are doing. And you might be like, oh well, you know, they can do it because it's hard. And like I've played Riven. Riven's crazy. And it's like, look, man.
She has combos.
Yeah, Riven's got combos. Look, man. If you ever played if you ever played Rise in season 3, bro, you're just like smashing your hand on that keyboard, just and then you do cool stuff. You do really neat things, and somehow you win. Sometimes you lose. It happens. Look, half the time, League players don't actually know what's going on in their game, especially in team fights. Shit happens, and they're like, we won. I did it. And so League players, they need this, okay? We're babies.
I do want to mention, too, for the Marvel players out there, you can press light and medium. You can press light and medium, and that'll do a dash as well. And there is wave dashing. And I think it's very similar to Marvel.
It actually, specifically, the content creators have said it is Marvel 3 wave dashing. And so you can press down or press both light and medium, cancel it. I don't know if you can do the plink dashing. I don't think they'll allow that, but I'm sure you can press down to cancel the movement and then continue to do that. Because I know plink dashing was really, really crazy in Marvel 3, and you could just like dash across the screen like hella fast.
Yeah, I mean, it was as common as melee wave dashing. Like if you didn't wave dash, unless your character didn't have a wave dash,
which most did,
you need to be doing it. Yeah, like Zero doesn't have a four.
No, he doesn't have one. He just got run.
He technically does, but it's trash, right? You wouldn't want to do it. He has a good back wave dash, but his forward wave dash, he has a teleport or like a basically like Kimberly's run kind of thing. It's kind of similar to that, and it can side switch. So he has tools that do better than a normal wave dash anyway, with different lengths. So yeah, a lot of characters could wave dash. Some of them were limited. Like Hulk didn't really have a forward wave dash or anything like that.
And this is also like to say the layer of expertise that you need for Project L, because if you can wave dash well, your movement capabilities are astronomical, and that's something that you need to learn, right? That's not, and it's not hard, but it's not easy either, right? You just you have to understand the motion, the rhythm, and how it actually works to then cancel your dash into a crouch, into a dash. And wow, it looks like you're bobbing your head.
Oh, yeah, and the character looks like he's just like dancing around. They're just crazy. Yeah, it's very much like Korean backdashing looking in Tekken, or I guess Melee too kind of looks like that.
Oh, Melee 100%, absolutely. Yeah, they're more like they got like one hand down and one hand up. They're like, oh. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Looks cool. Like I want to play some Marvel now. Dang, man.
Right.
I got to get ready to go watch some Secret Invasion though. Yeah, I'm going to go do some of that. But no, I definitely think like we got to keep checking in on this. This has been kind of like one of the more fun episodes to kind of check in and talk about Project L and seeing, reflecting on our predictions and the things that are coming out. I also want to say too, there's a lot of content creators out there. I don't want to shout out Maximilian because he already has a lot of followers, but like, was it Dado Doya,
Rooflemonger,
JM Craft,
Jam Croft,
Sajam played it. Yeah.
I heard Yipes was in there too, and also
commentary.
Yeah, bro. Apparently, Sajam was playing with Yipes. He was 2v2ing with Yipes, like as a teammate. Which, man, think about that. By the way, just the end note. Think about the esport events where you have two legendary FGC heads.
Oh my god,
playing with another two legendary FGC heads, and it's the craziest combinations too. Craziest combinations.
I want to see Filipino Champ and Kane Blue River. Anyone who knows those two knows that would be hilarious to see on one team.
So,
oh my god,
yeah, definitely
LFG and DSP.
Give all of these
LTG and DSP.
Yes, please. I'm begging. Oh my gosh, yes.
The one time I'd want to see those two. Oh my god, the rage. But anyways, what were you gonna say?
I think that was really it. It's just, I think that would be really great. Definitely like support these people. They are longtime people in the fighting game community, and they are.
They've been doing it for a long time.
They've been doing this for a long time, and it's been a privilege that they've been able to go to Riot and actually do this, because Riot is giving them a lot of trust right now to not talk. And I know they're under contract, but
Tommy and Tony Cannon. Tony Cannon and Tom Cannon. Again, I guarantee you those two had something to do with bringing those specific people on.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
it's who they know.
They're so ingrained
It's
in the
all
community.
about who they know.
Yeah.
Like, of course you accept an invite from them, right? Like, they've known each other for years.
Yeah. I hate to keep stroking Riot's ego, but as a former developer, as a former animator, someone who's worked in like sales for a long time, they're doing it right. They're doing it so right. Like, I don't think you could do it any better than how they're doing it. Street Fighter has been doing great with 6.
Yep.
In a lot of different ways too. So not to take anything away from them,
Capcom,
but Riot has more resources.
Yeah,
they're huge. They're more ingrained in esports as a whole. Like the company as a whole is esports and is gaming. Like their origins of Riot and how they started off with StarCraft and Dota and all that kind of stuff back in the day. Like they live and breathe gaming. It was mostly MOBAs / RTSs, but now they branched off into shooters, RPGs, auto battlers, card games. They're turning into the Google or the Amazon of video games at this point.
Yeah,
of esports, I should say.
Their own AAA company now. So
pretty much, yeah, and they have their controversies, I'm sure, but when talking specifically about developing games, and in this particular case, fighting games, they're doing it really well. And I'm just really happy they hired two really passionate people that know the FGC and have treated the FGC very well.
Smartest move they made, for sure.
Amen. All right, man. This has been a great conversation. Thank you again for joining me. I'll put Megamaxstar's links in the description down below. Make sure you check him out as well. He has locals. If you're local to Michigan, Midwest area, come through our tournaments. We got a lot of stuff happening at Kalamazoo right now. 2 weeklies. We got a monthly that's like kind of combining right now. We have more tournaments to come in the future. The anime convention this weekend that we're doing at DokidoCon. So Kalamazoo is doing pretty well in terms of fighting games. So make sure if you're in the area, check us out. That said, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you all in the next one.